viewers. We are back again on Planetside 2. It's been a little while actually since I've done any posts about this. So the last video I actually did was regarding the same topic, the planned Sunderer update, which of course happened to just go live yesterday, for real this time. And I'm going to be going over the various changes and giving some opinions about some of the new features, whether positive or negative, and also just going into maybe some of the new bugs that have come with it. So, you're at the VR training to do this. So, first thing you might notice is down here the slots are now renamed. The utility slot is now the deployment slot. Defense is now called armor, and the performance slot is now been renamed to the cargo slot and is the most changed of the three. So I guess we'll start out with some of the main changes. So of course, back a little over a month ago and so on, there was a accident where the devs during a update accidentally released some of the features of this that were incomplete, which led to this module, the point defense, being exploited because the way it was set up at the time just allowed Sunderers to shred every vehicle in sight. And it was very toxic gameplay, and this went on for like a week until it was finally patched, but some stuff was still left unchanged. For one, the stealth cloaking module, has now been relocated to this slot. Originally, this was unlocked after you upgrade vehicle stealth fully, but now it is able to be unlocked separately. So stealth Sunderers are now probably going to become more common, which I'm not too against that. The gate shield diffuser is basically the same as it's always been, though I think it's also been changed out some. And then this is one of the new modules, the deployed dome, which has the same design as the deploy shield, which is still in the game. Everything else is basically the same aside from the point defense and this. These are both new, and then this being relocated here. So I guess we'll start out with the various new features to show them off and show what's changed. Now here in the defense or armor slot, this is where things really start to change. You've now got the old vehicle and repair modules, supply and ammo dispenser and such. But then this is the new reactive armor, which, as you can see by the description, stops damage from the following types, meaning primarily explosives. This is one of the new ones. Then you got enhanced plating, which is I guess like the old heavy plating, but a little different. It has a more, I guess, updated model to it. Then you got the old deployment shield here. Nanite auto repair, those are all. Then you got this, the nanite armor, which I think is, when you look into it and look how it's performing currently on Armorish, is a bit overpowered, I believe. As you can see, it constantly repairs the Sunderers and can be activated to burst repair over almost over nearly half the over half the Sunderer's health actually. Extinguish fires, pass repairs, disable for 45 seconds on cooldown. So this is like a combination of fire suppression buffed up and also has nanite auto repair. So it's basically combined the two together in a sense. And it's hard to really say about that, but judging by what I've seen so far, it's definitely done a fine job making Sunderers a bit tougher to destroy. But then you have, I guess I'll be showing each of these off which is a bit hard to show them off with friendly fire, but you get the general idea. It has the new texture to it. Now the other main one, the old performance slot now being the cargo slot. This is where some of the new main features have been put. The ammo tower and the repair station, which both have a model similar to the ammo dispenser, which I don't know if it was intentional. These were supposed to, according to the notes, were supposed to replace the old vehicle repair and such, proximity repair and ammo dispenser, but for some reason they're still in the game. I don't know if that was intentional or not, or if that's maybe just for some players. But so you got the repair station and the ammo tower, which are the new deployables. They basically do the same thing, but instead of being on the Sunderer, it's now a little deployed device that just gets dropped behind the Sunderer. And then you got the old racer and rival combat chassis, which I don't know, according to the dev notes that I have up on my other monitor, it's basically like, from what I understand, a lot of that is now supposed to be done away with. Like, we have the repair station equipped. I'll show that off in a moment. And then this new deploy dome. It's been constantly being tested on the test servers, but still a bit buggy. One thing that's definitely been noticed is Sunderers have received a speed buff. This is the nanite armor, which I'm using my other ability key. This is the repair station. As you can see, it drops this little deployable in the back, which does the same thing as the proximity repair, basically. It's kind of a neat feature, to say the least. And as you can see, the Sunderer is being constantly repaired by that. So, of course, this was something that did concern players on the thought that we no longer have mobile Sunderers and such, in supporting like tank columns and being able to also be a location for aircraft to land. But now, this is the, go ahead and show off, that's the new deploy dome. It takes its sweet time to activate. I think that's due to be upgraded, and see, you got this new meter on the side, and it does pretty much a lot of the same things that the deployment shield does. It blocks all incoming fire, but instead it's now in a dome around the Sunderer, so it's also protecting the infantry. But from what I know, it doesn't take damage from bullets. And for some reason or another, you can't see the meter for it when you're out of the Sunderer. I don't know if this is a bug or not. It's only present for this. So, on to the next. Change back to my engineer class. So over here, now the ammo tower, which has the same look to it. Let's see, and there's the enhanced plating. But basically, this is like a sort of better defense against those. I ain't got that unlocked yet. But like, for example, see, I could have like both of these, the ammo dispenser and that, equipped at the moment. I don't know if that's intended. Let's say there's a lot of other, like this. I don't even think these count really as defensive. If anything, these two should be, I think, in the cargo slot. I don't know if they'll plan to patch that. They probably will, hopefully, because if they do anything at all. But then this is the new point defense module. Oh, I guess I'll just equip that for the time being. It's hard to say. There's apparently going to be some changes soon. But the auto repair is basically but like before, the point defense module, of course, is able to increase the fire rate on the top guns of a Sunderer when it's deployed. So of course, when go now and use the Palisade. See, it does significantly increase the fire rate. It's definitely better than what it was when it got leaked accidentally. It's a good thing they didn't make that mistake again. Let's see, equip like just a decimator to test this. And of course, when you shoot the rockets at any of these areas, the shield briefly disappears. Like, and it says no energy on it. It's definitely, I'd say it says charge for how effective it's intended to be, I don't know. So basically, though, as far as defense goes, it really is only effective when the areas with the plates are hit. So it's not like it provides protection for the whole Sunderer. That's definitely going to be good if you're being shot from range. I guess I forgot to do the cargo, which is the same. I guess do a few of the other ones, like there's the fire suppression. Gate shield diffuser, apparently, according to the notes, said something about being changed out to do something different. Like, apparently it would, like, I guess, disable the shields or something. I don't know. But other nearby, I guess instead it would fully disable a facility shield or something along those lines. I don't know. Anyway, so like again, there's the I don't know which key it's assigned to. There's the ammo tower. don't know, and currently, like, I think this is bugged, like the field that the gate shield diffuser gives off is still around the Sunderer, even when it's supposedly out of energy. I don't know if that's intended or not. But again, you can go and look up the patch notes and all to read what has changed. But there has been definitely, like, the deploy dome in particular has allowed for Sunderers to be a lot more survivable when being shot by tanks and such, along with the new nanite armor. So it's definitely a change that has, I think the nanite armor in particular is a little bit overpowered given its design. Like, it's now enabled where Sunderers are nearly impossible to destroy in terms of C4 because of the way it can easily, you know, repair most of the health, which I don't know if this is in total or if it's the maxed out. Like, I'll have to upgrade it probably to find out. Which I might as well go ahead and see. Which I don't think I can do that here in the VR, but like proximity and scout radar, that was just renamed, I believe. Yeah, it was. Like, this the scout radar. That's just how it was renamed. It was originally called the proximity radar. And then you got the shield disruptor. Oh, okay. Sorry, I was... So the gate shield diffuser is the same. This is the shield disruptor. As you can see, it deploys a cargo device that grants gate diffuser to nearby friendly vehicles and then to pass through. So, okay, that's what that was. I didn't read all the descriptions, my bad. So basically, a person can now deploy, let's see, it deploys this other tower, which grants gate shield diffusers to other allied vehicles, pretty much. That's the way it's intended, anyway. I don't know if it works well or not. I guess do a sort of a test run here on this other Sunderer that's somehow here. I don't know why it is. So basically now, when it comes to, like, say, assaulting a tech plant or amp station, you don't have to worry about, you know, waiting for a Sunderer, you know, to come in with just that one Sunderer that's probably got gate shield diffuser, because with this, you know, it grants that to basically every vehicle nearby, and they can all get in through the shields. Okay, so granted that one's granting it mine, so it's... So I guess that is definitely a pretty useful deployable, but to me it does seem like it could have flaws to it. Sorry, I didn't notice my mic was still muted. Oops. But anyways, so the friendly fire is, I think, still the same for that, but Sunderers, I think, apparently now take more damage from explosives by default. However, my overall opinion on the matter of, say, the new features, I do think that, like the point defense, I think it was a bit nerfed too much for what it's supposed to be. I think, given the nature of how Sunderers, even right now, are still easily overwhelmed by enemy armor, particularly tanks, that they're being supported by Sunderer now. And this was really about one of the few things that could allow Sunderers to at least keep enemy armor at bay when deployed in certain locations. And the fact that it reduces reload time and so on, it is useful, but it also, you know, reduces weapon range by 60%, and that is the thing that I have the most wrong with it. I don't think it should reduce weapon range, because reducing it by that much makes a lot of the top guns almost useless. It should more, if anything, it should only reduce the range by maybe 40%, so that they can at least still shoot at targets that are within render distance. The deployables, like, meaning the new shield disruptor, the repair station, ammo tower, all that, which these all need to be remodeled at some point to have something more significant, I think. If necessary, just give them the all models. Like, for the nanite auto, the proximity repair, just give that model to the repair station or something. The deployables, I think, are a significant improvement and will help Sunderers with supporting on the field, because it means that now there could be basically multiple spots where vehicles can be resupplied, because you can drop multiple deployables at once, apparently. Like, the repair station, according to the version, like, according to the dev notes, it's definitely weaker to the proximity repair, and like, say, well, let me bring up the note. So, like, for one, apparently you can't have, say, multiple repair stations in close proximity repairing the same vehicle. Like, to stack up to a certain amount, only repair, like, only still very slowly, so that'll help prevent abuse. And then, but the shield disruptor, I'm still a bit iffy about in some ways. I think it could allow for some potential cheesing in some ways, but at the same time, it does, again, allow for vehicles to now get through amp stations and tech plants in particular a lot easier, as you don't have to now wait for that one Sunderer. And I think this could definitely come in handy for the base Heyoka Kim over on Amarish, where it has those shield bridges that are very difficult to cross, and that often leads to a lot of bottlenecks at this base, with like armor or infantry just camping the base at these bridges and constantly shooting at any vehicles that try to assault. The new nanite armor, I'm definitely already specified I'm concerned about. I think it's a little overpowered and does need some sort of nerf done to it. Why, the idea of trying to improve Sunderer survivability was the main goal of this update. They've kind of overdone it in some regards with like modules such as this one and kind of with this one, because now it's very difficult for tanks and even liberators to finally like push a Sunderer and destroy it, because now they could be under fire from several heavy assaults inside the shield. And that, of course, is not very fun for tank players, which is something I kind of am. It also allows for a lot of other tactics, like if, let's say, a tank pulls up or another Sunderer is pulling up to try to destroy it, it can be very easy for the infantry just to stay inside the dome and then swarm out when it's in close proximity and C4 it or spam rockets at it or something. But deploy dome is one of the few I think is okay as is. Though I do think it wouldn't hurt to slightly nerf its overall protection when compared to, like, say, the deployment shield. Especially since you can actually put these both together, and that significantly improves the Sunderer survivability. Which I'll demonstrate it like right here. I think they work together, I don't know for sure. They can both be equipped, so I don't know for certain. The thing I will admit that's decent is the fact that this new dome does take a bit longer to charge up, so there's that one benefit. I don't know if the deployment shield is planned to stay in the game or not. It might eventually, heck, I think it might have actually been removed. I haven't tested it. Test that again. Okay, yeah, so the deployment shield is still in the game, and originally that was the primary defense against a lot of certain things, such as, like, for example, tanks and C4 light assaults. This was about the only thing that could actually stop them from blowing up a Sunderer so easily, because it'd take 2 C4 charges to bring down the shield. And of course, light assaults only carry 2 C4. There's currently this issue here on the VR, is like no vehicles are won't despawn for some reason. I don't know what that's about. There's another person. But this is a lot of it. So there was just a few modules that were moved around, and then you got the new ones that were added, like the point defense and deploy dome. But it will definitely allow people to change up how their Sunderers play in battle. So that's the one benefit, I will admit. From what I read on the notes, I think there was talk of these two modules, the Rival Combat Chassis and High Speed Racer. I don't remember what exactly it said though, I'm trying to find it. There was a lot of bug fixes they fixed on this update. A lot of this update, aside from the Sunderer, has just been mainly the new summer features, which come about every year anyway. Apparently, these two, or some about these, were now going to be linked to the certs on the Sunderer itself. something. I don't know for sure. Like I think it was changed over to the passive system. Let's see, there's also this weird visual bug with the deployment shield, like the point defense. That piece doesn't show up on the top of the Sunderer for some reason. It's another visual bug that's going to probably have to be fixed, which apparently there was already talk of patches. I don't know how accurate that's going to be. So I guess we're going to go ahead and take a look over on the battlefield at how things are going for the gameplay, which is already a back and forth argument amongst the player base. As some people are definitely concerned about the nature of the Sunderers and thinking that a lot of this changes are broken, which to a degree they're all correct with the ones I've listed. Like I'm still rocking the auto repair for my common Sunderer, but I am using the deploy dome. Let's go and take a look over at, say, let's try to find where a fight's happening. There seems to be a fight happening over at the Bastion. I don't know how it's going with Sunderers, though.
Visual on hostile, light us up!
Walk right into a firefight. There's a whole lot of Sunderers over here. Let's see what's happening over here at Lithcorp. See, earlier there was a lot of combat happening with the Sunderers. I don't know who, I think he's got...
We can still win this!
That's a very weird bug.
Got a hostile cloaker nearby.
Sunderer-based combat at the moment. From what I understand, you're able to shoot outside these domes, so... Wait. Yeah, you can. So there's another thing about it. You don't even have to worry about...
Generator repaired.
Getting shot so easy, trying to like edge near the shield. You can literally shoot something through the shield dome. So that's the part I definitely think draws the line, is that infantry can shoot through this.
Stay frosty, this fight is all but won.
Of course means that players can just huddle around the Sunderer, and anyone who tries to make a move on destroying a Sunderer at the base is going to be, you know, finding it very difficult to try to even destroy the Sunderer, because they're going to have to push into the dome, but of course they're going to be under fire from anyone inside the dome.
Generator repaired.
Of course, Sunderer spam has become pretty significant.
The facility is ours.
Of course, that person in chat definitely ain't too happy with it. There's another Sunderer.
I've got eyes on an enemy spawn point.
So definitely already an increase in Sunderers appearing with the stealth module, given that it's now openly available for all Sunderers. Let's try it. And of course, people in chat there are definitely not too happy with it. But again, as always, it definitely kind of boils down to preference. And so with that pretty much sums up the current Sunderer update. It's definitely a questionable update, but I do think that it is a step in the right direction overall for Sunderers, given that for years they've always been easy picking for tank players and aircraft, and of course been constantly the victim of C4 light assaults, which are still a problem even right now. But to anyone who's watching this, I hope that my overview of this has given you a general idea of how everything new works. And I do hope the devs see my video about this and maybe take some of my tips. A couple of the modules, mainly the nanite armor and deploy dome, possibly need nerfing. The point defense could use a small buff to its improvement to its performance. And there definitely needs to be some visual fixes and maybe some few model changes so that everything doesn't look stupid or ugly, so to speak. And maybe eventually, maybe a bit of a slot change in how the slots work. Like, these should not be in the armor slot. These should be over in this slot, I think. As that is currently allowing for some pretty broken combos, like for example on like here on my support Sunderer, I have the proximity repair and I have the ammo tower, which allows me to pretty much, I can have proximity repair to repair vehicles, and I can drop ammo towers in other locations to support vehicles. So that's definitely gonna create some support concerns probably, but it does allow for some more creative loadouts for the Sunderers overall. So I do hope that everyone watching has enjoyed, and I hope that it is informative and gives you a bit of an idea on how to maybe change up your Sunderer gameplay and to possibly reach out to the devs either to give your own feedback. And I'll be seeing you all next time. There probably will be an update on this review probably soon if anything changes.